What's up, everybody? Noobs here. How's it going? Folks, it is nearly 2017, and that means it's time for our big annual wrap-up of the year that was, and then we will get into my predictions for 2017. So let's just talk a little bit about what happened this year. This year was the year of the VR obsession. We had the PS4 versus the Xbox Scorpio. We had the Pokemon Go phenomenon, which was insane. As Nintendo fans, it was frankly mostly a year of frustration. Not a lot of games coming out, especially for Wii U. And then, we had the painful wait for Switch news, what we knew as NX, until finally we got it. Even though it was just a couple-minute video, it told us so much, and then all these leaks started coming out immediately afterward. That really helped pass the time. Really, the Switch should have come out this year, but we had to wait a little longer. But you know what? That time is nearly upon us. January 12th can't come soon enough. As far as what games came out this year, over on Wii U, we had Twilight Princess HD, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, Star Fox Zero, Pokken Tournament, and Paper Mario Color Splash. And that's about it. It was a bad year for Wii U owners. Pretty obvious Nintendo has shifted focus to Switch. Over on 3DS, things were better. Fire Emblem Fates, Pokemon Sun and Moon, SMT4 Apocalypse, Kirby, Planet Robobot, Bravely Second, Dragon Quest VII, Ace Attorney 6, and actually quite a few more on top of that. So it was not such a bad year for 3DS owners. Still obvious that things have slowed down in anticipation for Switch. As far as my personal games of the year, well, I haven't played a lot of these, I have to confess. Yes, I know that is embarrassing to admit, but there it is. I promise you I will get to Fire Emblem Fates, Ace Attorney 6, and a few more of these Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm sure one of those will end up being my actual game of 2016, but until then, I can tell you I played through the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy on Wii U Virtual Console, and that was fantastic. Mario RPG, the original Super Mario RPG, finally came to Wii U Virtual Console, and I played it. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So does that count as a 2016 release? I don't know. Pokemon Go, of course. Yoshi's Woolly World, played through that on Wii U and loved it. And then a couple of Game Boy games, actually. Wario Land 3 and Donkey Kong Land 3. Played through both of those. Loved them. Even as a longtime Wario Land fan, I have to say 3 blew me away, so highly recommend that. Now, before we get to my predictions for 2017, we should probably talk a little bit about what I thought was going to happen in 2016. We'll see how I did. At the time, I was still thinking that the NX, the Switch, would be multiple hardware devices. I was thinking we would have separate home console and handheld, and they would just share the same games. They'd be playable across both. That has been obviously proven false. I also thought it was going to come out in November of 2016, which I'm sure that was planned and just didn't work out for Nintendo. And then I also predicted correctly that there would be no backwards compatibility. This would be a clean break, all new hardware. At least I got that right. Alright, let's get into my predictions for 2017. Now, unfortunately, we've already had a lot of 2017 spoiled for us. I did a whole video based on what games we can expect for the Switch for next year, just based on insider information, reliable sources. So not much point in getting into that. We've also heard a lot about the hardware, the battery life, the power of the system. Heard that it'll have a touch screen, that it'll have pointer controls. So we can gloss over all of that. I'll take my best guess as what I think we can expect otherwise, but January 12th can't come soon enough. First of all, I think the price will come in at $249 US. I think that's a sweet spot for them. I realize the 3DS started at that price and it was way too high, but they are positioning this as a home console first. And you know what? This generates a pretty solid buzz for Nintendo, so I think they'll get there. I think we will be able to log in with our Nintendo accounts and provide you linked a Nintendo Network ID to your Nintendo account. You will actually be able to bring over some basic stuff, specifically your friends and your Miis. As far as your digital purchases, I don't have such high hopes. I think eventually you will get at least some of your Virtual Console stuff. I'll clarify what I mean there. I'm expecting the same slow trickle of Virtual Console releases on this thing as we've had with past Nintendo systems, unfortunately. Having said that, just like with Wii U, I think that you will be able to just pay a small $1 or $2 upgrade fee for your Wii U and 3DS Virtual Console purchases, and they'll come over. Just won't happen until they're actually brought to Switch. As for those Virtual Console games that are stuck in Wii mode, I think you're going to be out of luck for those. I think if they never made the transition into the newer hardware, I think that's it. You'll just have to rebuy them, unfortunately. As we've heard, GameCube games coming to Switch Virtual Console. Looking forward to that. I predict that the Wii U GameCube adapter will work on those games, and I think we'll get a new version of that accessory with Switch branding. Only makes sense. I predict Nintendo will finally get the account system right on this thing. I think that your digital purchases will actually be tied to your Nintendo account rather than the hardware. I think you're going to be able to log out of one Switch, log into another Switch, and your digital purchases will just come with you. In fact, I'll do even better than that. I think they'll even do cloud saves on this thing. I think the downside will be that you'll only be able to be logged into one hardware device at a time. That means, say, if you have some kids, you've got multiple Switches, I think your purchases will only apply to one account or the other. So if you have, say, a digital purchase, you're going to have to make it twice for both kids. I think the OS, the storefront, the online system will all be better versions of what we've had on Wii U. In other words, not awful, but not up to the standard of Nintendo's competitors either. I think we'll have better online matchmaking. I think Nintendo Voice Chat will finally become a reality. That's a bold prediction, but here I am. So I think you'll actually be able to talk with your friends while playing Mario Kart at the same time. Wow. The power of 2017. Moving along a little later in the year, I predict the NES Mini will finally be readily available in stores by March, just in time to be competing for shelf space with the Switch. Wow, good work, Nintendo. As we've already seen, I predict Nintendo will finally show competence in their marketing. I'm predicting that the Switch will actually be understood by the general public. We won't have all this confusion like we saw with the Wii U and to a lesser extent the 3DS. I think that the Switch will do well. I'm predicting it'll sell 3DS numbers, but without that crazy, initial big launch and then huge drop-off, emergency price cut. We won't have any of that, but I'm just predicting decent, solid 3DS-like sales for this system. Later in the year, say around E3, I'm predicting we'll finally hear about Retro's next game. I'm predicting it will be based on original IP, but we will also be getting a third Donkey Kong Country Returns games, this one from Monster Games. I'm predicting we will get the Super Nintendo Mini for Christmas next year, and they'll actually make enough of them to more or less meet demand with just limited sellouts. I think that by the end of the year, it'll be obvious that the Switch is the true successor to both Nintendo's home console and handheld lines. I think once the existing announced 3DS software has been released, that'll be it. It'll dry up, and it'll all be Switch from then on. In addition to that, I'm predicting that by the end of 2017, we'll have heard at least rumors, if not official announcement, that a smaller, portable-focused Switch will be in development and planned for a March 2018 release. Something more catered to, say, the kid audience, the traditional handheld audience, so kids, maybe the Japanese market more so. And those are my predictions. Let me know what you think. What are your predictions for 2017? I think it's going to be a good year for Nintendo. I'm really looking forward to the Switch. I'm more hyped for this thing than I ever was for the Wii U, so that's got to be a good sign. I'm really looking forward to the idea of all Nintendo's games being available on one system, no more split library. And thanks for watching. Good luck to us all in 2017.